Hello, Potter's House family. It's Dr. Angela coming to you today. I'm putting on my mental health professional hat, and I'm going to be talking to you today about 5 ways that we can stay mentally healthy during this pandemic. Y'all know we got a lot going on right now, and for our teenagers and parents of teenagers, it's a lot to deal with. We've had the schools to close, we've had colleges to close, and everything is going online. We've had proms and graduations to be canceled, trips to be canceled, like senior trips. We're having to stay in the house. The kids can't see their friends. We're separated from our loved ones. We're not able to go to work. It's hard. It's really, really hard. And I know that these things affect different people in different ways. So today, the 5 tips that I'm going to give are going to be specifically geared toward the parents of teenagers and to teenagers so that they can really focus in on how they can be mentally well as we deal with this pandemic. So let's get to it. So as a parent of 2 teenagers, I have firsthand knowledge of how this pandemic has impacted teens and parents of teens. And I think from the teens' perspective, one of the major ways it's impacted them is them having to accept that there's so much that's out of their control. And that's been very, very difficult. Just imagine, for some of our teens, huge pockets of time, memories, once-in-a-lifetime activities, they've totally been stolen from them. They're not going to get it back. They've had to do their school online. They've missed all of their athletic events. They've missed their senior prom. They've missed their graduations potentially. Those were once in a lifetime activities and they were excited about it. So here's what we can do. Here's how we can help them to get through this. We have to help them accept that for what it is, because what it actually is a loss. It's almost like a death. So they need to take the time to grieve it. We need to sit down with them. We need to listen to them and have them tell us, what were your expectations for the year? What were you excited about? What were you thinking was going to make this the best year ever? And then talk about what happened to make it so that that memory was not able to be made. But now we have to move forward and we can talk about making some alternative memories, doing some alternative activities to take the place of those that we're not going to be able to engage in. And I think if we're able to do that as parents, we can help our kids to work through that loss, to come up with an alternative, and to eventually move on, understanding that there are always going to be things that are out of our control, but there's always a way that we can respond to it that's going to be most beneficial for our mental wellness. So I think one of the second ways that our teens have been impacted by this pandemic is they've had to stay at home. Being stuck in the house is another biggie. And during this time of many teenagers' lives, they revel in being able to drive, being away from home, having more freedom. They're able to do more things on their own. Many of them have jobs. But with these shelter-in-place orders, those activities have been nipped in the bud. And for some of them, especially our extroverted teens, being stuck in the house with family is like a death sentence. So here's what I think that we can do to help our kids during this time of having to be at home. They got to change their mindset. They can't see being stuck at home as a bad thing. They need to look at it as they're being safe at home. There are people who don't even have a roof over their heads and have much, much more to be concerned about than the fact that they're just sitting at home and bored. So what can we help our teens do? Help them find some other ways to help other people, to take the focus off of themselves, take the focus off of their boredom and what they aren't able to do. Go serve other people. I know some of our teens at the Potter's House of Fort Worth, they're coming out and they're serving at the mobile food pantry. They're making masks to help people stay safe. They're staying busy. They're helping other people. Those kinds of things take the focus off of our teenagers and put it on other people. And isn't that where we really, really would like for it to be? It makes the time go by faster, and it also improves their confidence and their self-esteem because they really feel like they're making a difference and helping other people. The third tip that I want to give you, parents of teenagers, on how to stay mentally healthy during this pandemic is I want you to pay really close attention to how your children are watching you and what are you presenting to them during this time. These are uncertain times for everybody. And I want you to know, parents, our kids are watching us. They're watching us to see how we deal with this uncertainty. They're watching us to see how are we responding. We say we believe in God, but are we responding in fear or are we responding with faith? Because I guarantee you that they're going to mirror your response. So we need to let them see us taking the necessary precautions and doing everything in the natural that we need to do to keep our families safe. But they also need to see us having faith in God, believing that God is ultimately going to make sure that we are going to be okay. They need to see us praying. They need to see us worshiping. They need to see us remaining active in church, even though we have to do it online. They need to see us having our personal devotional time. Let them see you taking care of your mental health by managing your frustration and managing your emotions with other people, by not demonstrating a level of fear and terror that makes them then become fearful as well. If your family is experiencing financial issues right now, why not let your teen in on some of that? Let them see those struggles so that they can see how you handle difficulty, because that's going to be how they handle it when they come up against it when they're an adult. They are watching us, y'all. They're trying to see if we're really doing what we say we believe. Y'all know that term, actions speak louder than words. What I need for us to be doing right now is to be sure that our actions are speaking the right words to our kids, because I guarantee you they're listening and they're watching. The fourth tip that I'm going to give is specifically geared to the parents of teenagers. I know before I talked about staying in the home and being kind of having to do this shelter in place has been like a death sentence for many of our teens. But this time I want to talk to the parents about being at home with their teens. And I want y'all to change your perspective on that and start looking at it as a blessing. Being in the house together is an amazing opportunity to get to know your teenager better, actually. Just hang out, just talk. I know for myself, it's given me an opportunity to pour more into my daughter. Because before, when she was in school, there was always homework, there was school activities, there was sports practices, there was always something that we had to do. And so we were not able to check in as often as we're able to do now. We were always moving around. So now I have more one-on-one time with her, and I have time to prepare her for life, which is actually what I was called to do for her. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this time to help her plan for her future, how to learn how to budget, how to learn how to cook, how to manage her time wisely, how to sew, how to have a schedule even during times of uncertainty, because she's not going to waste all her time away on social media all day long. So we're trying our best to make the best of this time that we have in quarantine. I'm trying to prepare her for life, because what I'm realizing is I don't have much more time left. So I'm going to use this time to the best of my ability to pour into her, to make sure that she has everything that she needs to accomplish what it is that God has for her. I encourage you to do the same. The fifth and final tip that I'm going to give is specifically to parents of teenagers. Y'all, I want you to keep an eye on your teenager. This isolation hasn't been good for many of them. We have teens who already had mental health issues, and they were suffering even before COVID-19 came on the scene. So now they're suffering even more due to the isolation, due to the fear of the unknown. Y'all, don't let them stay in those rooms all day long and you don't know what they're doing. Watch their social media posts. Keep tabs on who they're talking to. Now, I know half the time they don't want to talk to us as parents, but sometimes you have to make them check in with you and have a conversation with you just so you can see that they're good. Cook, eat dinner together, have movie nights, play games together, do TikToks together, do things that they enjoy as well. You might find that you're actually closer now than you ever were if you take the time to actually get to know them and check in with them. You have to spend that quality time together because you don't want to lose them right now. This is the time when you have to come even closer to make sure that they're okay. Their mental health right now, they're most vulnerable right now. And it's your job as their parent to be sure that they're good. So please, please, please check in with your teenagers. Make sure they're good. All right, y'all. We just went over 5 different ways that teens and parents of teens can stay mentally healthy during this pandemic. At the end of the day, we just got to remember that this too shall pass. We're going to be all right. But what we have to do right now is to keep ourselves mentally well so that when we get on the other side of COVID-19, we're able to adjust to our new normal, whatever that new normal will be. All right, y'all. I want y'all to stay safe, stay well. That's all I got for you. I love each and every one of you, and I hope to see you soon.